I was invited somewhere, and they called me to teach. And they said I could teach everything and anything in the Bible. They brought their ministers together. I was to teach them. And I taught and taught and taught. But they have one kind of doctrine in their fellowship, that if you lose your first wife, that you shouldn't marry again. And I lost my first wife, and I married again. And I went, I honored their invitation, and I went. A lot of things happened, which they could not deny. Even their pastor, he was interpreting for me. And when I was praying, I said, somebody there, you're almost blind. But now, I didn't know it was my interpreter. The Lord will heal you now. Raise up your hand. He kept on interpreting, and I prayed. And the following day he came. And he said, church people, do you know I'd lost 80% of my sight? And he said, Dr. So-and-so in the congregation, can you stand up? The doctor stood up. And he said, doctor, tell our church how my sight was. The pastor said, only 20% of sight remained. And yesterday, when our guest speaker was speaking in prayer, and he said, this, I was the man. And this morning, as we were coming to church, I could read all the signboard. I could see everything clearly. It was like I have new eyesight. That's all the clapping headquarters can do. Amen. But now we came to the minister's session. That one was general meeting. Now, and I gave them chance to ask. They asked question here, I answered question there, answered. Now, the final question. Pastor, you lost your wife. True. We heard, and not only that we heard, we have seen you came with a new wife. I said, yes. They said, why? I said, why are you asking me such a question? Oh, they said, because here, this is their vow. Oh, I said, that's not my vow. What God reveals, I do. And that's why God told me, God revealed to me, I should marry. That it's better to marry than to burn. That's the commandment of the Lord. They didn't want the commandment of the Lord. They wanted vow. What do you want? Go back to those commandments. I've read commandments to you from Matthew to Revelation. That one is greater than any vow. If you've lost your wife, don't make a foolish vow. You've lost your wife, you've lost this, you've lost that. Don't make a foolish vow. Just go back to the word of God. As many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the children of God.